Hello everyone, welcome to General Orlando 327 plays Final Fantasy XIII, episode 27. We are going to be running missions 4 through 8. We are still in chapter 11. And I know some of you might catch the fact that I actually did mission 4 at the end of last stream, last episode. But the reason we're doing it's on the way between mission 5 and mission 6, so we're just gonna do it for the extra experience and such. Let's see. Now that I remember where we actually are, that would be useful. Alright, so we're all the way back here, and the next mission marker is actually right here, so that makes things easy. This is the marker for mission 5. This episode is probably going to go a little over an hour because I really need to get to the end of mission 8 because I'm going to be making a video. Some of it's going to be a little bit of a rehash if you've been watching my series, which I'm assuming if you're watching this video that you probably were, because I'm going to be redoing the talismans, the morale and blessed talismans to get the auto faith and auto bravery. But the other thing I'm going to be doing is creating some, and the reason that I needed to wait until episode 8 to make this video was, or episode 8, mission 8 to make the video is because, I don't actually want to know that, I keep forgetting there's flowers. The other reason I'm doing it that way is because mission 8 you can farm for tetratic gear, specifically tetratic crowns or tetratic tiaras if you're really lucky. And then from there we can make, through a process of leveling, synthesizing, and then desynthesizing, and then synthesizing again, we can make haste shoes. And then we're also going to improve the Whistlewind scarf that we currently have on Lightning, and we're going to pick up one more in the area of mission 8. So we're going to have 2 there, and then we're going to upgrade one more and have Aurora scarves. And then from there, the battles will go much quicker for the rest of, well, really, definitely for the rest of this chapter, better than even like for the rest of the storyline, because those are completely optional gear. All of the ones that I'm going to be making are completely optional gear that that if you use them, they can be very useful. In most of the rest of the storyline, it's going to be a lot faster to have them on than not for the majority of non-boss battles. In fact, I think probably all non-boss battles, except maybe some of the missions that we have yet to do before we move on from this chapter. For the other one.
Out of my way!
Alright, so now that we've got this this mission started, it's at one end of the Yasha's Massif, which is the area of Grand Falls that we're in right now. The mark itself is clear on the opposite end of the Massif, so it's going to be a little bit of a walk. You know, I really ought to just kill this now. Hello, brain. So anyway, we're going to finish up through mission 8 today, and then tomorrow, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, which by now you probably would have if you've been watching this, if you want to see all the content that I'm doing for it. But if you haven't, subscribe so that tomorrow, if you're watching this in real time, obviously, we will have the episode that I'm going to be talking about the first set of crafting that you can do. Realistically, I mean, you can do some upgrading earlier, but it's not going to do you much good before Chapter 11. Unless you're doing speedruns. Speedruns work on a completely different system than this, but if you're just playing through the game to enjoy the game for what it is, then realistically, Chapter 11 is the first time that you can get a really an edge that's going to keep you going through the rest of the storyline. Before that, you can upgrade some things that'll actually help you a little bit. The power wristbands and brawler's wristbands and the marks that the sorcerer's mark and magician's mark. You can upgrade those earlier on and get some pretty decent stat boosts. But eventually, you're gonna pick up the better versions of those anyway. So it's kind of a waste of money, and considering the fact that money is the most difficult resource in the game to get, in the long run, it's not really worth it. Let's see. Do I even care about these? Oh, there is a cutscene. There's an optional, strictly optional cutscene here. Not on this side, it's actually on the other side. I probably should have gone the other direction, but... Oh no, because it's going to be right next to... Oh, crud. Just right next to well... Not like these things are up to let it this point anyway. Actually be worth just doing
it. Just another battle.
Alright, so you may have noticed this before, but there's a random like dead end here with a destination marker. This destination marker only this one only shows up before you continue on with the storyline much further than we've already gone, and it only shows up if you're in this area, and I think maybe the area previous where the base camp was. I'm not positive about that though. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where if you happen to be following the mission marker from the beginning of this chapter, you probably will actually come here first by accident and then wonder why in the world it led you over here, because it's just a cutscene. But we'll get the cutscene anyway. Because why not? It had to heal right as I was getting ready to kill it.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Had it perfectly timed. Nope. Can't possibly be that easy. Oh yeah, probably ought to get the sphere that's here. If I remember right, this is actually something useful. Or not.
Something on your mind?
Huh? Oh, I was just thinking.
About what? Something complicated?
I was just taking it all in. The sky here, the trees, the sunlight, the smells. When I was on Cocoon, I never dreamed a place like this could even exist. But now, here I am, on Pulse. If I hadn't gone to those fireworks, if I hadn't been sitting in that same train car during the purge, if anything had been different, I'd never have had a chance to see this.
No. I'm sure you would have wound up here. Don't you remember you promised me? You promised me that we'd come and see Grand Pulse together.
Really? When did I do that?
I don't know. How about another lifetime?
What does that even mean?
To tell you the truth, I've told so many lies. It's all a blur.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to lie about stuff to keep yourself going because you're afraid. Or to protect someone else so they don't get hurt. Sometimes even the things that everyone in the whole world thinks are true turn out to be lies. At the end of the day, though, it's not the lie that matters, but what you do after you tell it. Work hard enough, and you can make it true. I mean, maybe we both forgot. Maybe we did promise to see Grand Pulse together. And Cocoon.
Thanks, Hope.
Do something for me, will ya? Keep smiling. It makes me happy when you smile.
I didn't know you felt that way. Wait a minute. You mean you were joking?
Now we're even.
Oh! Hey! Wait! Hey!
So that is a strictly optional cutscene. It's one of my favorite cutscenes. I know it seems incredibly simplistic and almost kiddish, but it actually sets up a little bit of character motivations for Lightning Returns, the third game in the trilogy. And I know there are a lot of, I don't know about a lot of, but there's a pretty substantial sized fan base that thinks that there's a theory out there that Fang and Vanille are a couple. And it's never, as far as I know, it's never like been officially confirmed or not. But I think that cutscene proves that there's something between Hope and Vanille. Which is further substantiated in Lightning Returns, which we'll get to in a while. But how much of that is one-sided? Just Hope, Hope being Hope, and, boy meets cute girl, etc., etc. But I also like the logic of the conversation between them. And even that is, somewhat not necessarily adult in nature, but the conversation that they have about that Hope, the logic that Hope has about making lies a reality. Well, we know as adults that while that can be true, it usually requires a lot of power and money. But the concept of what he's talking about there isn't necessarily in terms of like straight up, actually turning lies into truth. But I like the way that they bring in the concept of past lives or future lives or whatever, because that's definitely a theme of this game. Is not necessarily this game, but when we get to a lot in 2, but even more so in 3, about the concept of potential reincarnation or what results of us after we have died and etc. So again, it's a completely optional cutscene that a lot of people missed for one reason or another, and just didn't bother to care enough to see it at any point. I actually missed it my first time through playing. And so, but I think it lends a lot to the overarching storyline of the trilogy, without being blatant about it if you don't know that it's there. No, I'm set up the way I need to be for the moment. So we've got a couple of these encounters like this with Behemoth, and there's one with a Behemoth and 2 of these Triffids, and then there's a Behemoth and either 2 or 3 Gorgonopsids, and I can't remember which. And we're at the level where we can handle these. If you haven't been leveling like I have, then, you know, if you didn't spend a lot of time in Mahabara leveling up, well, then first you probably wouldn't be doing this mission. But if you're attempting to do these missions without leveling, you can bypass this battle. I think you're better off to do that than to try to fight this, because it's bad enough as it is, as leveled as we are.
New strategy.
Every time I hear Lightning say new strategy when I change paradigms of battle, I always think, let the Wookiee win? Ow. Oh yeah, he doesn't have curse on him yet, that's why. There we go. Once he gets cursed, this is a much easier battle, even when he is standing up. Because even if it doesn't look like it's phasing him, most of the time, as long as he has curse on him, you can basically keep him from acting the majority of the battle.
That's how it's done.
As long as you get the timing right, anyway. Between curse and days. You don't get anything for that fight other than CP, but meh. No, I still want this. Forgot about this one. Triffids and Svarog. So you've got 3 enemies here that can actually inflict like some pretty nasty debuffs. same thing we did with the behemoth, switch over to variety to top us off for health and try to get our debuffs taken care of. There we go. Pain and fog. It's over anyway. Don't need to worry about anything else once he's got pain and fog on him. I mean, I could still just try to get the... Actually, I don't think he can take the... Yeah, he doesn't even take the protected shell. I could try to switch Vanille to a Saboteur to get Imperil on him, but at this point, who cares? That's just an extra paradigm change. Alright, so now we need to go this way. Alright, we need to do some setup for this battle, though. We're going to set this one up as our primary. And set that one up as our healing paradigm. And again, you don't want to have to do this battle twice and run all the way to the opposite side of the map. So make sure to Libra this before you kill it. The other reason we do that is that he halves all elements and physical damage, so that's the reason that we're focusing on our our double commando paradigms. Because Ruin is our best friend here. There we go. Didn't even need to heal. Get another Sorcerer's Mark out of the deal, although we don't need it at this point when we have the morale and, well, in that particular instance, the Blessed Talisman that grants faith. Paradigms. Switch my paradigms back, that's what I need to do. This goes back to that. This goes back to that. There we go. Don't miss the sphere here. It's actually pretty easy to miss this one if you just come around the corner and don't pay attention and let the guy charge you. Because if you don't actually turn the camera, it's pretty easy to miss that. Unless you notice the sound of the treasure sphere, which by now you should be attuned to. Alright, we're going to continue on the way we were heading just because there's treasures down here that we need to get. One in particular, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Yeah, there is a treasure down here that we want, but it's not an urgent one, and I can probably buy it for relatively cheap. The thing with Gil in this game is that even the ones that are cheap, they're not really cheap because of the opportunity cost of the Gil that you're spending. The things that you could have bought with that Gil later on makes any purchase a larger purchase to be considered than you would think it would. Sure. Before we all die.
Thanks.
There we go. That'll help. Haha! She got dazed to stick at just the right time. Really? I didn't push that fast enough. Just want to get in peril, thank you. That last attack had to be delayed. We had days perfectly set up there. I like how he can still stand up when he's dazed. That's really annoying, actually.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Right. So I'm basically using the same juggling techniques here that I would have used if he was actually launched, only because of Curse. As you can see there, once I got Curse stuck on him and got a chance to get all my characters doing their normal attacks, I was able to just prevent him from taking another turn by utilizing the fact that Curse will stop actions as long as they get attacked in there. So I basically just spread it out so that lightning would be in between Fang of Neil's attacks. Maybe this isn't the area with the Gorgon opposite. Maybe that's the next section. No, I'm sure it's this section. It's Varag and Gorgon opposite. It's not a behemoth. That's why I'm confused. This was the fight I was thinking of. I'm going to be much happier once Fang gets poisoned and in peril. so I don't need Vanille just for 2 spells. You know what? There we are. But we've still got half a chapter before we open up the next tier, so. We're gonna do a few missions, quite a few missions in between there, so. There's a lot of missions we can't do in this. I mean, actually, no, there's a lot of missions we actually can't do in this chapter, like, even if we wanted to. Even if we were punishing ourselves enough to try to do them. You know what? I actually did want to do that. Keep forgetting that if you run into them before they're out all the way, then you can still get a preemptive strike, but... Oh, cool. I'm down to 37 hit points. That can't possibly go wrong. I just wanted to get those Triffids out of the way.
Thanks.
You know that stuff for Roger yet?
Eat this.
The Swash already has Kiraja.
Time for another approach. Keep the enemy off balance. Thank you. Change of plan. Eat this.
How do you not get interrupted at all during that? Grief. Oh yeah, right. I always forget the trick. That's not actually what I wanted, but not gonna bother with that behemoth fight again. Not worth what we get for it at this point. That one. Alright, now we're back to the quicker and easier battles. Of course I forgot to switch back to aggression when I was getting a preemptive strike. Of course. Of course. Let's see. Statuses, 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 more statuses.
Just another battle.
Back to aggression. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the... I'm not gonna bother to fight these either. They're not worth it. We're gonna go back to this mission real quick, because it's literally on our way. Well, almost literally. The entire mission is on our way to... The mark itself is just a little bit out of the way, but not by much. So this is mission 4 again. And I'm going the wrong way. Not what I wanted to do. I'm still going the wrong way. Got my directions mixed up there. Man, I remember when those guys were a challenge. Not so much anymore. Hang on. No, it just occurred to me. Yeah, we're going through mission 7. I'm sorry. I got my mission number wrong there. This is actually missions 4 through 7 is what this is going to end up being. I don't know why I was thinking it was mission 8. That's not actually what I wanted to do there. Not that it's going to make much of a difference in the long run.
That's how it's
Especially
done.
now with being able to strike, but I want it to be an aggression for that. Oh well. C'est la vie.
Nothing personal.
Those are really the only ones we need to tell the truth.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Alright, so now we get a new enemy. The Munchkins. If you remember the goblins on the Arclight staff, these are just weaker versions of those. So they're incredibly simple at this stage. And down there is where we actually need to go for the next 2 missions. But I'm going to finish the mission 4 again here since it's literally just this far out of the way. And they're these guys, so they're trivial. Even if they summon, they're trivial. Ow. Alright, that was easy. It's an easy 4800 CP and guaranteed bomb cores? Bomb shells. Be more impressed if it was bomb cores, but we're going to get plenty of those. Alright, so now we're going to go back down the other path. The one path in this area that we have not traveled yet. Which I believe makes it the road less traveled. I hate these. These things drive me nuts because 99% of the time when they get up and like supposedly attack you, they're like wandering around aimlessly and you can't run into them because they keep changing directions every 3 seconds. It's almost as bad as cactuars. In fact, cactuars are easier to run into in this game than these things are. At least in most areas. Not so much in Lightning Returns. Those are pain to catch. Stay facing that way. Thank you. Make this fight easy. It's gonna take me longer to change paradigms than it is for Lightning to kill him.
That's how it's done.
You're lost. Just admit it.
Oh, had to turn just that half inch. I didn't want to be in that paradigm. Not for these.
Change of plan.
Was that absolutely necessary?
Keep the enemy off balance.
Alright, so either path you take is gonna lead to the same place. We're gonna go this way because we're gonna need to come back the other way for the next mark that we're fighting. So.
Out of my way!
Up. Thank you.
Stay down! Get out of my way!
Oh, I am going the wrong way. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, we're good. Alright, so that bigger one, all of the various types of goblins in 13, and the sequels, have like a commander type unit. This is the commander type unit for the Munchkins. If you kill the commander unit before you kill all of the little ones, one of the little ones will use the Rise Up ability to take its place and transform into the bigger version. So there's, you know, no point in ever killing the big ones first. Because then you'll just have to fight another big one, and another big one, and another big one. Of course, by the time you care, you have, you're pretty much powered to the point where aggression will take care of the small ones quickly, and alright, so here's the next mission waypoint. We are all the way down as far as we can go for the sake of people watching this, just for the marks. So we are in Yash's Massif. We are all the way down the long path to the Padron Archaeopolis. And then we're going to go back. And it's, as you can see on the map, the mark is on that path that we didn't go down coming here. Which is why I didn't bother. Of course, because we got this far, we have to fight these guys again. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
Out of my way!
Way to completely miss with that goblin punch.
Out of my way! Just another battle.
Alright, so we go down the opposite path, the split. And our mark is right here. And it's literally the same Munchkin and Munchkin Maestro fight that we had before, except there's one more Munchkin. Which, you know, considering that we're basically using all area of effect attacks to kill them, it basically just means that we have the same amount of turns, basically. Yep.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Pretty sure at some point on my channel there's going to be a drinking game where every time I say basically, somebody's going to take a shot. Pretty sure that's going to end up being a thing if my channel ever, you know, takes off. And if you're watching it at that point, congratulations. Also, thank you, because you probably watched it the whole time. I don't care. So that was that mission. Don't forget to collect the treasure sphere there for the mithril bangle. Not that we're going to particularly need it anytime soon, but I actually can't even remember if I used it in the post game, to tell the truth. By the time you get there, you basically got better options. I might use it for synergy more than anything else.
Target to target.
See, I actually think this fight's taking longer than the one we did with the 4 Munchkins. Because they were more spread out in this fight. Alright, we've got some cleaning up to do here, and then we have the last mission that we're going to do in this episode, setting up for tomorrow's episode with the upgrading equipment. We're going to start with this. These things are... Okay, I was going to say these things are kind of annoying because they'll like tend to like dive bomb you and go right over your head every time. The enemies that we're fighting in this area are about the toughest common enemies you'll get in this chapter. Unless you're, you know, fighting things out on the Arclight step that are, you know, way above your level. Relatively speaking. Not that we can't, I don't think there's anything on the step that we can't beat at this point, but the behemoths are still a little bit more of a challenge than these guys are. Oh yeah, there's like double behemoth fights in the north part of the Arclight step, so so that one would definitely count as a higher scale level, but I don't think we could do it. Maybe. Even that is questionable. You're gonna get one more step up the ladder of these types of creatures. These are Taxim. You're gonna get vampires for the next step up the ladder. And we'll get multiples of those before this chapter is out. But Relentless Assault is probably a little bit better, but at this point it doesn't make too much of a difference. I'd like to get them done before the staggers wear off, so... Better chance of doing that this way. Did he completely miss us with that wind slash, or are we really that far over leveled? Because that should have done a lot more damage than that. really light. You couldn't have just finished him off. Alright, so this one... I was going to say this one's a really easy preemptive strike, but that worked real well. Where's the other one? There we go. That's the preemptive strike I wanted to see. Although I didn't need to be an assassination if I'm getting a preemptive strike. Actually, it might be as much as the gust spells are worth. Switch to aggression. You couldn't have. And that's the worst attack these things have. Because you have the capacity to daze you, but this version of them doesn't have anything strong enough to worry about unless you're already like desperately low on health, which you shouldn't be when you're fighting these. Alright, we're going this way. Alright, and we wanted to fight that because they are guarding the second Whistlewind Scarf in the game. Alright, now we've got our last mission. So mission 7, all the way to the end of the Padron Archaeopolis in Yasha's Massif. And this is the first of a specific class of missions that have to do with having you fight named Seath. And we get a specific little cutscene. One of the reasons this mission is so easy to farm is because every time you hit that mission stone, all of the enemies that were in the area run away. We killed them all, but if for some reason you went to the save point and reloaded and came back here, if you evaded all of the monsters, which isn't too hard to do when they're Seath, I set this up first, then it would get rid of all the other monsters in the area and the mark would show up, and then it's a short distance to the mark and nothing respawns unless you like go back down the Archaeopolis a ways, so you can do this mission over and over and over again, and every time you do it, after the first time when you get the original bonus for finishing the mission, every time you do it afterwards you get 5 bomb cores, and So it's a really fast way to grind for Gil at this stage in the game. There's better places later, but at this stage in the game, this is about as good as you're going to get. We need this to be this. Okay, that's already set up properly. Yeah, that's right. Perfect. I'm gonna spend out my CP points because this, as far as the stuff that we've been fighting, this is probably one of the tougher marks that we've fought, so. Actually, I think as far as marks go, it's probably the toughest one that we fought, so. Even more to the point. Alright, let's look. All we have here are stats. Let's do that real quick. Okay, fine. Didn't mean to skip that node, but whatever. Alright, there's one class of the tier done for her for the moment. Go in the wrong direction. Alright, that's going to be all we get there. What ability are we missing? Probably Dispelga. Yep. Don't really need it, but whatever. Actually, she does use it in chapter 13. We have a couple of battles that I think she actually will use it. Yeah, she does have Curaja. I thought she did. Why was she not using it? I don't care about the rest of them. I don't get enough from this battle to go over anyway. Did that. Don't need to set up anything different on our equipment. You could prepare for this battle by putting on things that... Oh, I missed that chest, really. That lower your damage that you take from lightning, and you could throw a rainbow anklet on Vanille for the sake of hoping that... I did not start in the... Oh, I did, but I forgot to change party members. I knew there was something else I needed to do before I started this battle. I meant to change to Fang so that I could control what she casts first, but whatevs. Not gonna make that much of a difference. Those are the only two.
Time for another approach.
The only two debuffs you need are D-Shell and Imperil. And there you go. That's all there is to that. The other reason we farmed this battle over and over again, because he has two rare drops. One of them is the Tetratic Crown, one of them is the Tetratic Tiara, and we're going to need at least the Crown in order to make the sprint shoes, which give us auto haste. If you get the tetradic tiara, it's easier and more cost effective, but that drop is very difficult to get. Even getting, you got one tetradic crown guaranteed from fighting Sid in chapter 11. Chapter 10. This is chapter 11. In chapter 10. So you only need 2 more, but the drop is very rare. It takes about, usually with my luck, it takes about between 2 to 3 hours to get 2 more either crowns or tiaras. So if you tried to get both tiaras, you would be sitting here for a while. But it saves you the step of when you dismantle the maxed out version of it. It saves you the step of having to then upgrade the sprint shoes that come as a dismantling result of the tetradic crown. If you do the crowns, you get sprint shoes, which you have to level up to max and then use a perovskite material on to turn into. No, you get haste shoes. Anyway, you'll see it in the video tomorrow. I'm getting the names wrong of things, but you'll see it tomorrow in the video. Hermes sandals, that's what it is. You get Hermes sandals from the tetradic crown, and then you have to upgrade it and then use the material, the synthesis material on it to make it sprint shoes. But from a tetradic tiara, you get the sprint shoes directly, so you don't have to do any extra work there. Yeah. And that's the save file I'm on. I don't need this save file anymore. That was the one I was using to get to the point where I was being able to do all of that. So alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that, or at least if you're watching this as I'm airing them, so that you can see when I put up the episode tomorrow for the equipment upgrading guide in chapter 11, part 1. We're going to be doing just the few accessories that I do at this stage in the game. When we get to the end of this chapter, there's going to be a part 2 to it that I do a lot of the weapon stuff. I will probably build the weapons off stream or off camera for our run, but then when we get to the end of this chapter, I will do all of them on camera so that you can see all of the required materials. So I'm gonna sit here and get everything that we need, and then and then we'll be back next episode for some more missions. Make sure to hit this like video hit like on this video if you liked it, and share it with your friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody have a great day.